Investigations are underway in Hutto after the city found hundreds of thousands of dollars in unauthorized employee severance packages. None of these deals ever went to the city council for a vote. Last night, council members took the first step to nullify these agreements. KXAN investigator Jody Barr started digging into these deals more than a year ago. He joins us now with what happens next.
Well, the Hutto councilman who got this all started tell me their next step is to finish investigations into how the city manager's office was able to fire employees, continue paying them, and then forcing those employees to never talk about what happened.
Motion passes 5-0.
Unanimous votes don't happen a lot in Hutto. Thursday night, City Council decided it was time to start to get to the bottom of why more than a dozen city workers left their jobs and were forced to stay quiet about it. None of the agreements stated the reason for the termination and included a provision known as a non-disclosure agreement, meaning neither the city nor the employee could talk about what cost them their jobs. These deals also detailed tax dollars spent to continue paying salaries and benefits long after an employee left. City records show one worker continued getting a paycheck 5 months after he left the city.
It's an action of the council saying that none of these were ever legally entered into and that they're all.
The agreements were locked inside the city manager's office for years. The city still doesn't yet know how many of these deals exist. Council records show these started under former city manager Otis Jones's watch. Records we obtained show the earliest agreement happened in February 2017 when Jones approved paying a city worker's salary and insurance a full month after she resigned. That deal to spend those tax dollars never went to council for a vote.
We need to figure out what is it in this city hall. Gives people the thought that they can sign agreements and circumvent city council when it comes to taxpayer dollars.
The city doesn't know exactly how much was paid, and forensic auditors are working now to figure that out. Councilman Mike Snyder and Tanner Rose's best guess, it could be as high as $500,000. Snyder and Rose got the city to draft the ordinance to undo these agreements. Do you believe there's something within these agreements, a story not being told that the public needs to know?
Oh, definitely. I cannot imagine, there's nothing that runs through my mind that makes me think there's a valid reason for that other than something is being hidden.
It's hard not to draw the assumption that if there was no wrongdoing or no issues going on, why they were entered into in the first place.
Jones left the city months ago. He never responded to our request to interview him to explain his reasons for these agreements. Jones wasn't the only signature on these deals. We found one signed by Michael Shaughnessy, a city attorney at the time, and another signed off by Allison Hosgood, Jones's former human resources director. Assistant City Manager Byron Franklin was on Jones's administration team and the only administrator we found at the council meeting. Franklin signed off on at least one deal dated last December. Do you regret signing that agreement? Did you know at the time when you signed that you didn't have the authority to do it? Is there anything at all you'd like to say? Mayor Doug Gall was in charge when these agreements happened. We tried to ask him if he knew anything about them. Mr. Mayor, can I talk to you about these separation agreements? Part of council's vote was to also decide whether those former employees might have to repay those tax dollars and whether what council calls unauthorized spending constitutes a criminal act.
So the actual was a crime committed, is it a felony because of the amount? We would know the answer to that question upon the completion of the forensic audit.
That's what we're anticipating.
Former city attorney Michael Shaughnessy tells me that he is ethically prohibited from talking about any of this, and he declined our request for an interview. The councilmen, though, tell me they've already launched their investigations and they plan to issue subpoenas soon. This ordinance needs a second reading before it becomes law. That could happen here at the next council meeting. From Hutto City Hall, Jody Barr, KXAN investigates.
And late this afternoon, former city manager Otis Jones responded to our request for an interview. He sent us a statement saying Any document of which I've executed years ago as city manager in Hutto was prepared by the city attorney of Hutto at that time and executed based on the city attorney's advice of which I received. To find all of our positions of power investigations in Hutto, just look under the Investigates tab at KXAN.com.